Hi! Welcome back to Our Life Now and Forever Demo Part 4. Okay, the last time we left off, we have just met Tamarack for the first time. This is just a humble continuation of the prologue for Our Life Now and Forever. So, let's just kick in and, I'll try my best to be narratively fun about this. Anyways, sorry for the background music. There will be some nice home sounds and domestic sounds on the background, but hopefully it doesn't hinder anything about the way that I tell the story and introduce Tamarack and Xiulin. We've just met Tamarack, and I think I just introduced myself at this point. Unless you're Frankie's mom. Tamara was completely tickled by the idea, giggling and covering her mouth with her hands. She didn't do a good job at stopping any of the laughter from getting out. No, I'm not a mom. I moved in with my Omi and Oppa. Omi and Oppa. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Omi and Oppa without it sounding like a Korean person saying, Oppa! Ugh. Who are they? Are those your parents' names? You're living with your grandparents? Sorry about that. The dog just started barking. Anyways, as for my choice, I'm actually opted to ask more because I'm just curious why Omi and Oppa. Nope. Omi and Oppa means granny and grandpa. I have never heard of that. Is it another language? Uh-huh. It's German, and they're German. Oh no! Do I have to know how to pronounce it in German? Jesus! Cool! There's a granny who lives there, and a guy that's her husband. That's your Omi and Oppa. I think so. Probably. Omi has really long hair. Oppa has short hair, and some of it is on his face. Yeah. Shu bobbed his head up and down with great understanding. Granny and him have a kid now, huh? Wow. I have no idea what it lies and that. Are your parents dead? What? Really? Okay, I mean, I guess I want to be straightforward, but I don't want to be that straightforward. Why did you move in with them? What about your parents? I'm gonna ask this one because it's straightforward, but not being absurdly straightforward. They're busy and not at home. I wouldn't go to school or do anything if I stayed there. So I'm gonna live with Omi and Oppa right now. Holy hell, I'm hearing an airplane passing above our heads. Cool. Okay, that sounds sad. Your parents seem lousy. Jesus. Weird. Do you feel bad about it? You weren't sure what to say. I'm gonna ask if they feel bad about it because at the start of the story, I keep on being dramatic and angsty about some of the options feel dramatic and angsty, so I'm gonna go this for a bit. No, I'm busy too. You are? Yeah, I've been here 5 days and it's really good. There's so much out here. I probably won't be finished for a long time, months maybe. The loudness of Shu's voice shot up. He was shocked and confused. 5 days? That's almost a week, and I've never seen you. Where have you been this whole time? I said so before. I've been here. Tamarack used one foot to push against the ground and the other to stay upright and spun around in place once. I play in the forest every day. After getting the answer, he went normal volume again, but kept frowning. Oh, well, you can come with me and my friends if you wanna, too. We hang out in the neighborhood and in town and my backyard and stuff. Okay, so basically me and Tamarack are totally new in the neighborhood. Specifically me as like the newbie. Tamarack is 5 days in new, but it feels like Tamarack lives somewhere near. It's just that she gets to stay with her grandparents during the busy days of her parents. And Shu has been here forever. If you see us, just walk over and join. You don't have to worry. They'll like you, and you can talk to me if you don't want to, if you don't know what to do. She only shrugged and the shoulder without The bag strap went up higher. Maybe. Oh no, I missed the dialogue. You're like your oppa, huh? No one ever really sees him around either, even though he's alive here for 1,000,000 years. Tamarack squished her cheeks between her fingers, delighted. He likes his office a whole lot. This is my very first day in Golden Grove. Wow, that's barely different at all. We're a match. She furrowed her extra short eyebrows as much as she could as a new idea came to her. Hey, we're both girls and he's not, but are any of us the same age? I'm 10. Oh, that's so cute. We're the same, all three of us. Well, I'm 10, he said, not answering for Shu. You kept quiet. You're 10? So are we. Hooray! Same age forever! Happily, Tamarack held on to the worn strap of her big bag and bounced up and down in place. You decided that this was the perfect time to talk to her about everything that had happened. The paper might have been Shu's, but it was possible she was the one who sent it to you. Hey, I got hit with a paper airplane. Did you throw a paper airplane at me? Do you know anything about a paper airplane? Tell me the truth. Are you the paper airplane person? Do you know what this is? You asked while pulling out the page. I want to be silly a bit. So there. Ah! Yeah, you got it. Oh, so it is her. I got it, that's for sure. Woo! She flung her arms up over her head in celebration, knocking her bag out to the side. It made a thump noise when it swung back against her. My aim is good. You blinked at her in disbelief. You'd truly done it. You found the mystery person who owned the paper in the first place and the person who actually sent it to you as a paper airplane. She was entertaining, you thought. You rubbed at your eyes, exhausted. Why? She was loud. It made you nervous. I'm loud too. Like, right now, I'm narrating loud as heck. You couldn't believe the trouble she set off. You smiled to yourself shyly. She was so cute, you thought. You didn't know how you feel. Oh, I want to think she's so cute. But you weren't the only one who had a reaction to the results. All right, nice, Frankie. Your wide eyes and Shu's cheers had Tamarack excitedly looking between you and him, not knowing what the celebration was about, but wanting to join. Thanks for sending it. That plane was really cool. Why would you do that? Yeah, it is. Your throw was perfect. You smiled quietly, but with satisfaction. Okay, I'm gonna do... That plane was really cool. Yay! Yay for the trash doing something nice. Haha, trash! Haha, Shu, you poor guy. He brought both his hands up to his face and pressed his fingertips into his cheeks with great drama. Even if it was trash to you, it's still important to me. Even if it was trash to you, it's still important to him. It's not trash. You've got that right. It's garbage, you joke. You've got that right. It's garbage, you stated. You snickered. You glared at her. What was about never losing things? Shu, I want to do this. With wrinkled brows, Shu shifted his hands more to the side so he could instead tug at the front strands of his hair, pulling them out fully straight. I don't know how it's possible. You wouldn't maybe be a sorcerer or a thief, would you, Tamarack? No. Too bad. You thought about how he was so funny. You covered your eyes at the ridiculousness. You sighed. You smirked widely. Oh, you thought about how he was... Oh, I find him so cute and adorable. I'm sorry. Tamarack and you both laughed, the sound harmonizing. Shu finished his spout, straightening up and putting his hands solidly on his hips. He was back to being in control. You know, there's nobody out there who's perfect. I accept my mistake and I'm sorry to you, Forrest, for messing up the place. That's really nice of you to say, Shu. Thanks. I think it forgives you. Cool. Watching the two kids interacting, you started thinking about this more and more, going over the whole experience in your head. Your turning thoughts were put on pause when Tamarack suddenly changed the subject. What are you two gonna do now? I've got to go back. My mama is waiting for me. And I'll walk frankly there. I gotta make sure they don't get lost out here. I should probably see how my Omi and Oppa are too. They're pretty old and need help sometimes. She took a big hop closer to you and Shu, a smile growing across her face as she landed. We could go back together. Oh, that's so cute. Alright, yes. Well, okay. Sorry, I want to be by myself. No, I don't want people coming. Sorry, me and Shu are going together. No, you should stay here. Me and Shu are going on our own. Okay, Tamarak, bye, Shu. The two of us are going. You nodded in agreement. You shook your head no. I want to go with the both of them. They're just new friends. Yes, I was gonna ask that. You relax your stance, accepting that this is really over now. Woohoo! The Tamarack snatched up a nearby stick off the ground and directed the pointy end forward, the way you had come from. To our houses! Horses, I almost said horses. To our houses! While chuckling, Shu used his fist to enthusiastically punch the air. Homeward bound! This is really nice. We're going back, successful people. All right. You two are loud. You smiled at them. We're going back, successful people. Yeah. She had cupped her hands around her mouth to make it extra loud. We are victorious! And so you started to walk through the brown fall brush to get to the neighborhood again. But you weren't going to be alone there. Tamarack bounded ahead, bouncing her arm up and down with a stick like she was the conductor of a marching band, while Shu came alongside you with even casual steps. You were returning to that house. Your new neighborhood had become even more orange-toned by the time you finally returned to it. The far-off sun slowly sank away behind the tallest mountains and forests to sleep for the night. Okay, so it's nighttime. Your shadow grows larger, pulling away from your bodies to reach out into the street ahead. The dark shapes morphed and combined with one another as you walked in your own mismatched rhythm, all while the eyeball chilliness of the outside world got more powerful bit by bit. Tamarack still stayed about 2 steps ahead. Sometimes she was closer and sometimes she got away from you again. She used her stick to knock at the bushes and lamps along the sidewalk. I can actually hear the tink 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 happening in my head all of a sudden. That's how broad my imagination just went. Shu was next to you but had switched things up so that he was taking large skips backwards. You guess it was to look at you in the face better, or he just thought it was fun. No! He's so cute, so kitty. He pointed out the sharpest building on the street as he went. Part of it looked almost like a tower, a different kind than the one in the backyard. See? That's the house from the front. It's great. And that's your house, right? The one in the middle, and Granny owns that even further away one. Mm-hmm. Cool. The sounds of your steps continued to echo through the cul-de-sac until you came to a stop right in the center of the path. You'd arrived. Okay, this is it. Shu pulled out an eager grin. We've got to meet up again later. See you, Frankie and Tamarack. Shu flipped around to go back the same way he had come with you. He needed to return to the pointy red house with the huge backyard. Oh! So he lived on the left side. Okay, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense all of a sudden. But then maybe it's like, I guess it's a difference of like direction. There's something like bugging me in the directions of their houses, but I will just discuss that maybe in the near future whenever I replay this. He didn't drop any papers this time. Bye! Goodbye! Tamarack put both her hands up in front of her chest and waved them around. I'm going home too. Tamarack spun in place before dashing further along the sidewalk to the sloped gray house to the other end of the neighborhood. Oh, okay, so her house is the one on the left, on the right. Okay. Sorry, I thought that the houses were flipped over. Like they're since the direction I don't remember when I first like chose from that fork on the road in the backyard. I was thinking I went on the right first and thought that the right hand house facing my house right now is the one that the Lynn house is in, not Tamarac's. Her bag clunked and jingled at her side the whole way there. You waited there in front of the house in the dimming evening light, watching the two other kids go to their homes right on the same street. It was cool to meet you too. Bye, see you later. Be careful on your way back. Thank you for coming with me. You waved your hands in the air and jumped up. I want to do this. You waved your hands up in the air and jumped up. That was everything. The whole outing was done. Oh, it feels like this is the true ending of the prologue and demo. In the quiet resolution of your first day in this place, the two encounters you had earlier that afternoon drifted through your head. Shu and Tamarack. Okay, tutorial again. Now you're at the stage where you'll get to see your dynamic with Tamarack and with Shu. Our life, now and forever, has a specific way of constructing the personalized relationship you have with the two neighbors you grew up with. It's called dynamics. This encompasses how your character and the character feel about one another and how they generally interact with each other. It doesn't determine if your character is shy or confident or sociable or unsociable. That's done through the phrasing or actions you pick in normal choices. Oh, okay. So, in the first Our Life, there was a point in the story that they didn't. No, I haven't gotten to like the tutorial for Our Life now. Beginnings and always. I do, however, think that maybe they have included it in the demo part of the release for the first game, because I never got to play the demo. I've gotten to play the game in full throttle when it first released. Wow, that is so loud. This is only setting how you and the two leads tend to think or approach things on a top-line level. Man, how heavy is the narrative that they've, thought about this? Man. These settings can be the same for both Tamarack and Shu or be entirely different from one over the other. The first part of the dynamic system is what you set for your relationship standing. Your chosen relationship standing is always mutual with the other character. It's possible to change your standing at the start of each step, and even at certain points within a step, at least normally. There are some settings that can't be changed once you pick them. The 5 main options for your relationship standing are neighbors, friends, family, crushes, and beloved. Aww. Neighbors mean there's someone you know and it's nothing more meaningful than that. Whether it's still amicable or completely cold or even hostile is up to me. Man, I want to go through a playthrough being an a-hole all of a sudden. Friends means that you're friends. Well, duh. While on this standing, it's possible to go even deeper and have them be your very best friend, but that's not set on the dynamic screen. It's a normal choice. Family means that you truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a fully platonic way. You can't choose to love someone this deeply until later steps once you've known them longer. Oh, so I think this. Okay, I guess the beloved part is the ultimate love or like a romantic one, according to how I see this. The screen behind the tutorial. In comparison to Our Life, you can directly have a crush or like fall in love with Cove, your like titular romance character or partner in it. So this one is encouraged to I think go slow with the development of the two. I see. You also won't be able to change the setting to anything else once you've picked it. It's completely certain and unwavering. Oh, okay. You can bring both Tamarack and Shu into your proverbial family. Crushes means that you and them have crushes on each other. Okay, hold up. Chad, I was thinking there's someone at the door. Apparently there's no one. Oh well. Okay, they did. While understanding, you can keep your feelings a secret and act as though you're only friends or best friends, or it can be known that you're romantically interested. Man, there's. Okay, this is like completely a visual novel haven. Later in the game, you can also officially go steady with Tamarack or Shu. If you begin dating one of them, your standing on the dynamic screen will change to partners instead of crushes. Oh, okay. It's possible to be crushing on Tamarack and Shu at the same time, but you can only get into an actual romantic relationship with one. Okay, so basically like it's monogamous. If you had been crushing on both and get into a relationship, you'll automatically go to being friends with the character you're not dating. You won't be able to keep expressing romantic interest in them. Of course, why would we condone like emotional cheating here? For the record, I may be saying this like in a joking way or kind of like sarcastic way, but that's true. Like even IRL, like T diversion, and a hot seat sort of like opinion. I don't think it's unpopular, but emotional cheating is real. And if you are in a group of friends, you had a crush on like a handful, and one of them is actually mutual to you, you've gotta have, and you like both of you just pursue each other, but you know the crush is still standing and stuff. You gotta have the energy and the capability to actually like be be loyal enough to like try your best, even though I don't know the degree of an individual's way of dealing with this, but to avoid emotional cheating or emotional attachment outside of your relationship that you currently are in and mutually have agreed to be monogamous in. Because it's different if it's a polyamorous relationship. Like, polyamory has levels of consent within it without dismissing the other party's like concerns or like opinions about entering or allowing another party to be in your polyamorous relate like status. So that's that. And that's a good thing that they address, that you have to stick with the linear sort of monogamy in a relationship in the story. At least they're not saying sad to say. Because sometimes like I have like knowledge of it, but I'm like just veering away from oversharing. I do am curious about that type of like relationships, but I am not a part of that mindset. Rather, I'm very monogamous in terms of like relationships for me. But for others, for people, respect boundaries, respect their choices. If they know what they're doing and they are in a polyamorous relationship in a very obviously mutual consensual manner, no judgy. No one needs to judge other people just because it's different towards their preferences. That's just a suckish way of living. Okay, back to the tutorial. And if you do date one, you can't break up with them. Wow, the partner status can go away once you get it. It is possible to change simply crushes to one of the other options if you want to, so you can be a swinger. Beloveds mean that you truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a clearly romantic way. So I am correct in thinking that. You can't choose to love someone this deeply until later steps once you've known them longer. You also won't be able to change the setting to anything else once you've picked it. It's completely certain and unwavering. Like crushes, the romantic feelings can be known, a secret, or you can be officially partners. If you're at this setting, you'll also unlock the possibility of getting engaged and changing your relationship standing to fiancés. Oh, okay. So there's more certain statuses here in the second title than in the first one. Because in the first one, it took me a while to actually like have the status and to be declared as like I am engaged cove or we're in a actual romantic relationship. But anyway, it maybe it's like it's still the same, but it's not as fast. Because I feel like coves. It felt like I flirted early with cove, just like that. In the our life beginnings and always. Oh, back to the tutorial. There's no requirement to get married or even date. What you do or don't do with your feelings of love is up to you. The leads will respect your set boundaries. Oh, I wish IRL people are like that. And also other media with supposedly love triangles. Supposedly. If you are beloved and make choices where you're hoping to get married but haven't asked yourself, your partner can be the one to propose instead. The MC will accept that proposal by default because the game believes they want that. You can't convince your partner to think marriage is a good idea and then reject them when they pursue it. Yeah, even IRL, that is like such a suckish thing to do. Like you're leading them on. Be self-aware, people, be self-aware. Also, you can only choose beloved for one of them. Tamarack and Shu each have their own romantic scenes that aren't set together. At least, that's the current situation. If time or budget allows, you might able to add a new set of alterations for being in love with or dating both of them. Oh! So there's an expansion set for polyamory! Nice! To be fair though, I honestly actually do ship them already with me and each other. So I'm like, sorry. I'm applying only the monogamy to myself, like outside of fiction. But in fiction, it's always an interesting, like, romance, okay? Don't, don't like mob me or something. Sorry, I'm back. The dog again. I mean, I'm not angry at my dog. Or our dog. Oh, back to the tutorial. It's not a guarantee that we can do it, but that is something we have in mind. I wonder how they would, like, go with that. I mean, I do have a very small, like, audience anyways. I wouldn't know how to, like, discuss it with others, whether they, like, they push the developers to do it or not. I am interested though. So I'm one of the few people who will be saying that, hey developers, if you hear this, if you see this video, I don't know if you will. I tend to forget to promote stuff. Hopefully you actually do get a patch of like having an alternate like storyline where polyamory is possible, because the dynamic for their personalities, at least they're in their childhood, is kind of cute and adorable. In the near future, maybe, hopefully, it would be there because, like, it's still wholesome. There's nothing, like, entirely bad about the idea of being in a very mutual, consensual relationship with people that gives good feedback and value and growth to you as a person and to them as a person as well. Also, back to the tutorial. That's part of one dynamics. The second part is expression elements. This is how you and the other characters generally interact with the other. Like relationship standing, expression elements are determined separately for Tamarack and for Shu. It doesn't have to be the same for both. Jesus Christ, the words are hard to say. God damn. But expression elements don't have to be mutual between your character and Tamarack or Shu. They have their own ways of conveying themselves, and your character gets to have theirs. Expression elements are broken down further into 3 meters, with 3 choices per meter. Meter 1 is deferring, demarking, contesting. Meter 2 is praising, unassuming, and teasing. Meter 3 is doting, accepting, admiring. For meter 1, you can use it to determine if your character is a follower or goes with the flow using deferring. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it properly. A collaborator or compromiser using teamworking or tries to be the leader or decision maker, whether the other person actually wants to follow them or not, using contesting. Yeah, I was kind of like wondering that. Like, what's the reason why there's a deferring, teamworking, or contesting here? For meter 2, it determines if your character is the type of person to go out of their way to make comments on other person and what they do. If not, they're unassuming. If so, the comments can be complimentary or even flirty if praising, or they can be joking or giving the other person a hard time if teasing. You get to control the phrasing or intention through choices. Meter 3 can be set to determine how your character views Tamarack and Shu. Do they feel like they need to look out for them, or that they're on the same level as each other, or that the other person is more incredible than most? When you first meet Shu and Tamarack in the story, you go with their normal kind of behavior for their interactions with your character. Because of that, their expression elements are always the same in step 1. Step 1, Shu, is teamworking, teasing, and doting. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. Step 1, Tamarack, is contesting, praising, and accepting. I kind of see the praising and accepting more than the contesting. But maybe it's just because of the choices that I did. As you spend more time with Tamarack and Shu, they'll get to know your character better, and in each of the next steps, their expression elements can change to match that. If, for example, you're friends with Tamarack and express displeasure whenever she insists on getting her way, she'll notice that. In step 2, instead of contesting, she could be teamworking with your character or even defending, depending on the details. Their connection with your character will develop organically. Man, I'm gonna have a hard time noticing that. Usually I just go with the flow whenever, like, even in visual novels. It's pretty much like I may be like promoting self-awareness towards people, but I don't think I'm that self-aware, or like I'm that attentive to begin with. Anyway, back to the tutorial. Though in future steps, you'll always have the option of customizing their expression elements if you want to make sure your playthrough has a specific feel. And starting in step 2, and if you're more than just neighbors, a 4th expression element meter unlocks. Oh, meter 4. Oh, jealous of, not jealous, jealous over. Jealous of means that one character is envious of the life, appearance, abilities, relationships, or something else of the other person, depending on the specifics involved. Jealous over means that they feel discomfort if they think the other person seems to like someone else more or isn't spending as much time with them as normal and such. The jealousy meter does nothing but let you add more negative feelings or relationship competition interactions as an extra element of drama to your life. By default, Shu, Tamarack, and you will always be not jealous, which skips all that. You'll have to choose to customize the expression elements and set them to being jealous in one way or the other for that kind of emotion to crop. With relationship standing and expression elements, you'll be able to have a truly personal dynamic with Tamarack and with Shu. There are dozens of combos for the step you're in, and when going from step to step. Being at crushes in step 3 will be different if you used to be friends than if you were crushing from the start, and so on. You have plenty of options to try out. That ends the dynamic system tutorial. We hope you'll enjoy the connection you create with Tamarack and Shu. Oh, sorry. The entire explanation of this is like me reading a manhwa that is system based. Like there's a theme for like isekai system and stuff. Like you transmigrated just because there's like an omniscient or omnipotent like gaming life system that gives you perks and whatnot that like, can develop character, whatnot. And it's really, sorry, like I'm gonna like veer away a bit into whatever narrative I have on the thoughts about this, because this is totally a like visual novel isekai feeling, and it totally rocks because some other people may not be introduced to this or may not have the energy, but others do. Like others with like eagerness to be controlling of a narrative. Let's say, for example, they like reading isekai transmigration stories that has this kind of feel, but they don't have the control about it because the author does more than the reader. So sometimes the reader is just like left with like a bitter taste if they don't feel like it's that acceptable in every way whatsoever in the result of the story. They should play this. Like they should suggest a lot of like scenarios to the developers, and they should have enough time to make those. I have encountered a very R-rated visual novel before that has this kind of like leveling, but it's not as to extent of this. And it's very satisfying in a sort of like a escapism way. For the record, I do say philosophically that being an escapism appreciator is not bad. You really need to like veer off of reality sometimes to appreciate life at the end of it. Like when you come back to reality or life, maybe you would have a different mindset about things, but it's if they don't forget to come back to reality or like to stop escaping from things. It's different from running away because it completely like just dismisses everything, or at least that's how I define it. But hopefully, like I do have like the correct terminologies for most. Anyways, I'm gonna set a bit like shallow setting because right now I'm really not that like eager to try and sort of like be as expansive when it comes to this, because this is a demo, and I mean I didn't even invest with my character. I did do the randomizer. I do love this like design of my character, but it's not like the peak one that I want to do. So sorry for that, but I still do like it. Friends. Okay, so team working. Like praising, and I'm gonna be doting at her because I feel like I'm gonna dote her. I wonder if like if I chose contesting as well for her. But I feel like I want to be team working for them both. Okay, done. Things were so different for you from just that morning when you left and went on the drive to move. Before then, you'd never been in Golden Grove. You'd seen it only in the pictures and hadn't known anybody who was a local there. But here you were, a person who lived in the town and was friends with the neighbors on both sides of your house who also lived here for like few seconds. Were you friends? You thought so. Frankie, is that you? Your mama called from over the fence. Coming! You bounded forward and passed through the gate. Mama had left the porch and was there to meet you. How are you? Did you find anything exciting out there? It was great. Could have been worse. I don't know. You're never gonna believe what happened. Excuse me. I burped without sound. Everything was amazing. You didn't say anything about it. I wish I didn't go. I met people, Mama. Kids my age. I'm so glad. I look forward to hearing all about it. From strength to strength, we've got the key to the house. The agent finally arrived about 20 minutes ago. They're gone now, but I haven't peeked yet. Jesus Christ, really? That's how long I was gone? The both of us should be here for this. It's your house too. Yeah, this is our house now. Absolutely. Come on. Mama turned to go and slipped the key out from her sweater pocket. She gestured with the other hand for you to follow. Your mama led the way as you went back up the stairs. The key fit perfectly into the hole on the door, and Mama smiled at the sound of an unlocking click. Carefully, she leaned forward with her shoulder, giving it a nudge, unsure if the best option for the ancient door was extra force or extra restraint. The house opened with a creak. Air came out through the front like it was exhaling. Mama let out a breath at the same time. Over here, Frankie. There's a space for you to get a little closer. You can see inside here. You scooched towards your mama's side in the doorframe. It was then that you noticed that there was a mat at the front. It had a light color and a kinda hard but fluffy texture. The sort of mat that get dirty looking right away when it was used, but it was still clean and nice. It hadn't been worn down at all like the rest of the building. This part of the house wasn't just an old thing left behind by other people who didn't need it or want it anymore. Someone must have put it there for this happening, for your mama and you moving in. Written across the top it said, "Welcome home." Kinda sent me tingly feeling. Mama softly tapped the top of your shoulder, bringing you back into the moment. She kept the hand there, leading you ahead with her. The two of you walked through the door. Everything in the air was still. The wind was blocked, but it was practically as cold inside as it was out of the house. Mama shifted forward cautiously, feeling around for a light switch. Got it! A dim light from the ceiling sparked on in an instant, and there in front of you was an old-fashioned living room. The house had furniture that came along with it, but it wasn't a set. The pieces were mismatched, each chair, table, and bookshelf in a different color. They were covered in transparent sheets of plastic and dust. The room had a real fireplace made out of bricks. In the back, you could see a staircase going up to another floor. Beautiful. It's even better than the photos. So much potential inside these walls. You're amazed. You're disappointed. It blew your old apartment. It was the worst. It could work. You thought it was okay. You didn't care. It really does think. That mustiness will clear out soon, now that it's inhabited again. Your mama touched the tips of her fingers to the muted blue paint next to her. Sorry, I keep on mumbling. Or sort of kind of hard to talk. Especially if you're hungry. We'll have to clean as much as we can, make it livable before bed. It'll be a long night. We can unpack more of our things tomorrow, though I'll be doing much of that on my own. You're going to be busy. Mama increased the pitch of her voice, squinting her eyes sweetly. After all, it's the first day of 5th grade. Oh, jeez. You grinned brightly, you groaned, you had hope she'd forgotten. Who could? You threw your hands up in the air, you covered your face, getting nervous just thinking about it, you bit your lip. You shrugged, you got lost in thought, imagining what it would be like. You glared at her, annoyed that she'd bring it up so cheerily. You covered your face, getting nervous thinking about it. She let out a breath gently while watching you. We got here just in time, clearly. Her eyes drifted close and there was a crease in her brow. She seemed further away without having gone anywhere. Even if I am here early for the job, I was not going to make you be a full week late to class. Being new to a town like this is already going to make you a point of attention. You couldn't tell if she thought that was a good thing or a bad thing by her tone, but Mama didn't say any more about that. She lifted her circle scarf over her head, careful not to have it catch on her earrings, and left it on top of her suitcase. So, want to see the upstairs? Not really, but I'll go. The second floor was more of the same. Lonely, sealed-away rooms with furniture nobody has been using for ages that were covered up by the plastic sheet. And lots of dust. You could see the footprints your mama left behind in the grime as she wandered the halls with wide, amazed eyes. After checking the state of the whole house, Mama made the decision to leave the furniture in its protection until after the sweeping was finished. There were too many dust bunnies that might jump over to take a seat on your couches if a spot was available. I hope I can remember where I put that dustpan. The room itself shouldn't be hard to find. You returned to the living room after Mama got her trusty pair of crafting scissors out of her suitcase. She put her scarf inside it when taking the scissors out. Mama then went through some of the tape boxes like it was her birthday, and each one was a shiny, unopened present with a ribbon on top. But her gift was just stuff she already owned. One by one, she took out the supplies that had been through but had been brought for this very moment, setting them around her legs on the floor wherever there was space. Then she divided them out into separate piles. A pair of yellow gloves, a fluffy fresh duster, a bottle of cleaning spray, and a full roll of paper towels. Mama had set off her own. The other was for you. You were going to need them. There was only one broom and dustpan, but that she did successfully find. You were going to take turns using that. The first move in the make the house a place people can actually live in plan was yanking open the streaky windows to get some airflow going. Though, before even that, you had to get the locks on the window themselves to come loose. You dug your fingers in between the base of the window frame and the latch pressed against it, forcing it to move against its will. When the lock clicked into place on the opposite side, you shoved the window up with both hands. Your gloves were already patchy with filth. The icy crisp breeze that flowed in from the outside was a lot more welcome at this point. You got a good look at the neighborhood while catching your breath. Street lights had come on, but you then left the window there to do its job and go back to yours. The two of you went back and forth, up and down around the house to open up everything that you could. Some windows were jammed in place so tight, you had to leave it alone for your mama to get to later. The next point on the list was to somehow scrub down all the floors, walls, counters, and every other inch of space where dust could settle, which was every inch on the entire house. You picked a spot and gave it a sweep with the fuzzy head of the duster. A nice line of clear wood followed behind your motion. That pattern continued for a while, and whenever the dust layer was gone from a spot, you'd go back over it again with the cleaning spray to really make it shine. Your mama was able to track down and turn on the heater, not that you could tell the difference with all the windows wide open. Eventually, you had a short dinner break with your mama, standing around in the kitchen together with the two of you as dusty as the rest of the house. It was packed meals from the car. Simple sandwiches, fruits with thick peels that wouldn't get smashed. On the drive, little bags of granola and pretzels and juice boxes. Man, I feel hungry. There were no groceries. The rickety fridge was off and totally empty when you checked. Oops. It was a relief that there was nothing gross in there. It was disappointing that there was nothing gross in there. What? It was a relief. Oops, the trash from your food was dumped into the same giant black garbage bag that you'd been throwing piles of gray-stained paper towels and wads of squished together tape in for the whole night. Sorry, I gotta skip one dialogue. Somehow, the bag was getting full even though it was big enough to fit your whole body inside. It was a mark of how much what work you'd really done, lol. Looking at just the house made you think you hadn't even gotten started. The only way to change that was to keep going, as your mama talked about when encouraging herself to clean again after dinner. You and your mama polished up the house as best as you could for even more hours. But when your usual bedtime arrived, Mama put the duster and the scissors down. She wasn't going to have you stay up late, no matter how excited she was to unpack. She guided you to the first floor bathroom. The ones on the second floor were too dirty to use, plucking her overnight bag off the counter along the way. Your mama explained how she'd do a round throughout the house to close the windows to keep busy until the bathroom was free and left you to get ready to sleep. Inside the bag was little baby-sized versions of normal toothpaste and mouthwash containers and simple toothbrushes. All you had for pajamas that night was a green long-sleeved shirt with matching pants. You got as clean as you possibly could. You did a good job washing up. You're pretty lazy about it. Oh man, I'm gonna be energetic as F with this character. Just because, to be honest, this is my choice. You're pretty lazy about it. it's either that or I did a good job washing. For a little while. You finish washing up as fast as possible. I'm gonna have to finish up as fast as possible. It feels like I wanna be resting right now. You may have had to do it, but that didn't mean you'd have to take forever getting done. You kept your headband on for bed. I'm gonna keep my headband on. Then you changed it into the PJs to let your mama have her turn. While she was away, you took out your favorite stuffed animal from your backpack. You took out your favorite action figure. You took out your favorite doll. You took out your special blankie, your special pillow. You gotta wait for her to be done. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have like a doll, stuffed animal. It wasn't something you could sleep without. The furniture was still plastic wrapped, so you crouched down and sat on the rug. Mama returned in only a couple minutes wearing her purple pajamas, and she also had sleeping bags tucked under each of her arms. She shifted one forward to hold against the front of her chest and dropped the other onto the floor. It landed with a puff. That'll be mine. Your mama noted while trying to untie the band that kept the sleeping bag together in a roll. She pulled and pinched at the knot. When it didn't budge, she lifted the bundle to her face and used her teeth to pry the threaded bands apart from each other. What? She got it loose and victoriously flapped the bag all the way open. She laid it down in a clear spot on the wooden floor. There you are, Frankie, all ready. Okay. You used your feet and rocked back and forth to move yourself across the antique rug, scooting towards the sleeping bag without getting off the ground. Mama chatted casually while spreading out her own bag nearby. We'll need to get some wood so we can actually use the fireplace on nights like these. Did your mama know how to use the fireplace? You'd never seen one in person until now, and so far you'd still never seen one that had fire in it. Luckily, the house was warm and cozy, even without that, since the windows stopped letting the chill in. The heater worked. That was sort of a surprise to you. Mama soon settled down on the center of her temporary bed. She sat cross-legged with her back solidly straight. Her hands came to rest on the tops of her knees, and she made direct eye contact with you. Thank you for your help with the house today. It'll be home before we know it at this rate. It worked really hard. I'm so tired. You're welcome. A house and a home are the same thing. Huh? The way you said it made your... I don't want to eye roll. You stretch your arms, are happy with the job well done. I want to do this. She slouched her shoulders, easing away some of the stiffness. Excusez-moi. Let's see. Hey, guess what I did in the neighborhood today? Mama, could I tell you about what happened today? She asked how your day was. I want to be, hey, guess what I did in the neighborhood today? You hid behind the fence the entire time? No, Mama. Okay, tell me, dear. That was supposed to be a question, isn't it? It wasn't ended with a question mark in the first one that she said. After pausing just a little to build suspense, he began to narrate the entire story of the paper airplane adventure. And that's where we pause on the last few, scenarios of the prologue demo. For now, I will be trying my best to try and play this game a little bit longer and see where it ends off. So I'm gonna save it on this part, and hopefully I will try and play the game much more and see if it only lasts for a few more minutes and then it's the end, or if it just goes longer and I'm gonna say, bro, demo be long, prologue be long. Anyways, this is part 4 of Our Life Now and Forever. Demo. Thanks so much for staying a bit. I might cut this episode, so hopefully the first part of part 4 is cut nicely, and this might be part 5 in the near future. Sorry for that if I didn't get to clarified it in like the first half. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and see you next time. Likes and subscribes and cuddles. Toodles!